I don't want to forget recording because sometimes people ask really good questions at the end, and it's always great to be able to revisit some of those. So, all right, I am going to share my screen because I do have a PowerPoint presentation ready to go, and I'm going to just hide all the videos here, and let's talk about this thing that we have with our photos. We want to save our photos the right way. And for some of you, you probably have already tried it. Some of you, maybe it's the first time you're organizing your photos, and maybe you're realizing there might have been a better way. Well, truthfully, there are a lot of different ways to approach this. So I am here, with Corinne and Tyler. Pixology is celebrating 10 years. And so we learned a few things along the way that we're excited to share with you. And one of the things that we learned is that we really needed to stop calling our work photo organizing. I mean, that is somewhat what we do for sure, but there's something more important going on. And what we do is we help people create photo estates. And that is that helps people maybe understand that this is different than just a task on the to-do list. This is really important stuff. Like, the photo estate is how we are going to pass on our memories, our stories, and our legacy to future generations. It's also how we can be sure to celebrate and enjoy the things that we've done with our family and friends today. So first of all, just a tiny bit for those of you who might not know about Pixology. We started in 2013. My friend Ann Matuzak and I started Pixology in our homes, and we were having pictures accumulate their client projects, and we realized we needed to have a location. Early on, we did organizing and we did scanning, and then we added video services. And it really, was a great few years. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And it was during the pandemic time that we really switched to talking about photo estate services just to help change up the conversation. So today, that's what we do here. People bring us their big boxes and bins, their drives, their computers, they just bring all their stuff here. And some people actually ship it now. And we create, this beautiful archive out of it. And certainly photo organizing and scanning is definitely a part of that. The other really important part of our mission, something I'm passionate about. My background was in social services, and I really feel that every person who cares about their pictures should have an affordable way to get it done. And that's why we focus on consumer awareness and education. We have a huge YouTube channel where there's over 300 videos that you can access just about anything, I think. And if not, I always try to look for new topics of education. Our goal here today is to provide you with a plan so you can create, enjoy, and maintain your photo estate for generations to come. I am not today telling you how to do it. All right, we've got a master class on how to organize your photos once and for all that tells more of the how. Today, we're talking about the what you need to do. Okay, and people need a plan. Okay, and they need to follow that plan. And I'm telling you, after 10 years of being in this business, we know a lot of our clients have been around with us for a long time, and then they just don't get to their projects. Well, I really feel strongly that we have to shift that. We need to put some urgency on it. Tomorrow could literally be too late. So today's a plan, and we're actually going to talk a little bit about accountability. Okay, so that is our goal today. Now, you might be wondering, what is a photo estate? We made this definition back in 2020, and I actually have a book on Amazon about creating a photo estate. The core definition is it is a printed or digital collection of photos, film, video documents, and memorabilia. And I mean that. So when I talk about photos, your photo collection, I'm including all of the pieces that go along with saving memories. So if I say photo collection, I'm including those slides and negatives and all of those kinds of things. So it's a printed or digital collection. Next point is it's organized in a manner, very important, organized in a manner that allows another person or persons to view the photos, learn about the lives documented, and be impacted by the legacy of those people. So there's a lot of important things in there. And I like the picture to the right. This is our client, Michelle, with her son, Kyle. And last summer we did their photo estate. She gave us, I think, like 4 bins of loose pictures and albums that were kind of a mess. And we organized them and then we scanned them. And then we created an online archive through Forever Permanent Storage. And she is showing her son pictures of when he was born. Kyle could not remember seeing those pictures before. And, think about like family, these memories that share together. It's just amazes me when you look at pictures, you realize how much you've forgotten and how much fun it would be to share those things. So that is our definition of a photo estate. In the packet that you'll get is a 10-point checklist. And really I have it numbered instead of it being a checklist because I wanted to celebrate 10 years. Pixology is celebrating 10 years, and we thought that would be kind of fun. It worked out that the 10-point checklist covers all of the things that we've been doing these years, and it can give you a framework for moving forward. Okay, so you'll have that in your packet, and in our presentation, you're going to see I'm referring to point 1, point 2, and we're going to go through this, okay? So point 1 is to collect and inventory your photos. All right, this is where we start. We gather it all together. You can gather all your print pictures, that's the envelopes, albums, and boxes and bins, get them together. You can also include all that analog media. So analog is like the opposite of digital. So this is stuff that is physical in nature. So the film, negative, slides, VHS tapes, whatnot, gather it all together. And then look for your old cameras or phones and computers and external hard drives. Gather it all together. We have created an inventory form for you to kind of check off, what you might have. And that is in the packet of downloads that you'll be getting. So check off what you've got, gather it all together. This slide shows you kind of a few scenarios that we've seen. We have the left-hand side where there's just a mishmash of albums and loose pictures, some heritage pictures. The middle is the digital side with cameras and camera cards and discs and computers. And then on the right hand side, it's just another collection of albums. Gather it all together. Okay, that's kind of a big accomplishment, and I know it probably may not seem like it, but when you get it all together, it's fantastic. That's why when you have a move coming up in your life, that's a great time to pack everything together and have it all in one location. Not a great time to organize it, but at least you can get it all, labeled. All right, so gather it all together. That brings us to point 2. And this is your job. It's to complete the photo project, timeline, and accountability chart. All right. This is like the only way I can think of is, to help people like actually accomplish things is to write it down and know that there's some accountability, whether it's to yourself, or to us. However it works, we want to help you get this stuff done. So you're going to prioritize. You're going to think about, what aspects of all of this are most important to you. Some people, it might be the slides. You have family members who are still alive that can identify that. Maybe it's the slides, maybe it's your digital pictures. So identify your priorities and create your timeline. And I love our chart because we have a column for deciding who's going to do the work. So you will decide which tasks you want to take on yourself and which ones you may need assistance with. So for example, you might feel confident in organizing and scanning your print photos, but prefer not to organize your digital photos. That's okay. You got to think about it because there is, there's always the resources that you have to consider to complete this, whether it's time or money or a combination. So you're going to think about it. And in your packet, you have this chart, this photo project timeline and accountability chart. Tyler, Corinne, and I worked really hard to come up with this so that it would make sense. So I hope it's going to be helpful for you. Down the left-hand column are all the physical things that would need to be done with your pictures. And I didn't deliberately cut off using your photo collection, but I do want to point out that we often see people wanting to use their collection before they've properly saved it. All right. And it's just interesting because the photo product market completely caters to this section on the bottom, making photo books and slideshows and upload your photos to iCloud and Google and Amazon. They cater down there with no regard to how organized it is. And if it's not organized, it's kind of hard to find things that are important. So this is the accountability chart. And I would print it and I'd jot notes on it and I'd put a deadline on it. Now, your deadline does need to be realistic because this stuff always takes longer than you expect it to. It really does. We've been doing our PixPlan course and community for almost 2 years, and I know some of my original members are still working at it. And that's partly because, well, life gets in the way, or things take longer than you expect, or you have some kind of technical problem that sets you back a bit. These things take longer, so that deadline can make it realistic. Okay, next up is point 3 is getting prepared. Get prepared. You're going to need some things to do this. Whether you hire someone or you do it yourself, there are tools that we think are helpful. And when we teach people how to organize their own photos, the hardware is important. You have to have a good, decent, newer computer. I would say, 3 to 4 years old, and you're on the precipice, depending on what's inside the computer. We like to recommend, if you're looking for a new computer, that you get a terabyte hard drive, and I guess I should say a terabyte solid state drive is preferred, but that does get pricier, and 16 megabytes of RAM. And this is for the general, photo or, organization work. If you're going to be doing heavy graphics, I can't speak to that. Okay, so a computer is important. You also need an external hard drive for backups, and you're going to need a high-speed scanner. You could use a flatbed scanner, but when a photo box holds 1,000 pictures, 1,000 pictures probably Well, you could do it on a flatbed. It would take you days and days and maybe even longer. So a high-speed scanner, which I'll talk about in a bit. And then the programs, we teach to use File Explorer on a PC and the Finder on a Mac. If you are going to be working with your digital pictures, you're going to need a duplicate photos finding program. For the PC, Duplicate Photos Fixer Pro. And for the Mac, a photo sweeper. And I am going to tell you, these are not, these programs cannot find everything. All right. So don't expect perfection when the duplicates start to make you want to pull your hair out. But these are the programs that could help you. And then you are at some point possibly going to want to rename folders and files or convert files. And we have been using XN MP, which we have a video to show how to use that. And well, you're going to get these links in the follow-up email. So those are some of the programs. There could be more, but to get started, these are, things that we talk about. For the physical pictures, an age chart is huge to organize the print pictures. You simply write the year the person was born, and then you write the years down the left-hand side, and then you write the age and what year of school they were in. So that can help you identify pictures. That's a really helpful tool that we've been using for probably 10 years going on now. The other tool, it's really necessary, is a backup, all right? And your external hard drive, which I already mentioned, on the left-hand side, you can see I'm just copying my photos, my photo work to the external hard drive, routinely, okay? On the right-hand side is iDrive, which is what I use to back up my full computer. And I know that my work is backed up. And backup could literally be its own, half-hour training. But you want to have that base covered for sure, because you don't want to lose your digital work that you've been doing. The last tool, and it's weird to call this a tool, but as we were talking about it, it seemed to make sense. When your photos are organized and scanned, and then the duplicates are removed and your folders are clean and set to go, it is wonderful to be able to upload them to forever permanent storage. Pixology has been a forever ambassador since, as I think, for 8 years now. And we've watched the company grow. The founder, he talks about forever being an institution, and a portion of the purchase price goes into a guarantee fund, and they are going to migrate your pictures, videos, and documents to the newest technology for your lifetime plus 100 years. And this is the culmination of bringing everything together. Forever allows you to easily share your pictures and pass it on to future generations. So that's kind of in a nutshell, the tools. I mean, there certainly are a lot more, but I'm more telling you about the what and not the how yet. So point 4 is organize print photos. All right. And I cannot believe it. I have this down to like 3 slides because I know that today is about telling you what to do, not how to do it. Here's that mess of, pictures that needs to be taken care of. So we have what we call a 3-sort system. All right. The first sort, you're going to divide everything up by family group, decade, and or major category. All right. So you can see the picture below that. Everything's been sorted through once. This should not take very long. All right. If you're spending too much time, then it might be because things are mixed up, and that should go in a mixed up bin. So you have your first sort. And then the second sort is where you start taking the decades and dividing them up by years. All right. And that part does take a long time. In this middle project, it probably took us about 20 hours to get to this point, and that's with two people working on it. Okay. So the third sort is when you take each year and break it down by month or event. And that's really helpful. It just helps you kind of systematically go through all of the pictures. You're using your age chart and it helps you get things consolidated down. Now, these photo boxes are from Michaels. They're great. You can get 12 online for like $50. And it looks really nice. They are not archival and they don't hold 5x7s, but they're kind of nice to look at. And sometimes like when you look at the chaos of the center, that's just it gives you a headache. So we like to use these black boxes here. Also on the right-hand side of that third sort picture, we have file folders for the larger portraits that don't fit in those boxes. So that's kind of the print organizing. And I guess I just want to also point out that each of those papers represents a batch of pictures that will be scanned. All right. So our goal is to get into batches that can be scanned easily. Now I have one more photo to show you. This is our beautiful archival boxes that we have for people who want to preserve their pictures in photo safe boxes. These are great. They hold 2,300 photos depending, and they can hold up to 5x7s. It comes with a nice black like folio to lay across the top for really large ones. So each box holds around 2,300 photos. So if I have two, we're talking about 4,600 photos. All right. I bet sometimes people don't realize how many pictures they have. So that brings us to point 5 of our photo estate checklist, and that's scanning. All right. Scanning. And I guess I do want to just say one thing about this organizing. On your like accountability checklist, I think the print photo organizing is something that you can do if you have the time and you have a systematic way of approaching it. I definitely think this is a great thing that people can do on their own to avoid the cost of like Pixology or other photo organizers out there. Scanning is another area that I do think it financially is better when you can scan your own photos, not on the flatbed. There is no way I could ever imagine scanning 4,600 photos on a flatbed. All right. If you are going to scan your own photos and you have more than one shoebox, you really need a high-speed scanner, which I have pictured here on the right-hand side. The Epson Fast Photo 680 is a fantastic little scanner. Okay. And if you remember those batches I was talking about, you're going to use the names of those batches of photos as the name for the folder of scanned photos. All right. And most scanning software allows you to choose the folder you're saving to. So it really helps. Then when you're done scanning, you have these nice, neat folders with the year on them and potentially a description. So I've got a couple examples there. And again, we recommend the Epson Fast Photo. This scanner runs between $500 and $600. With Black Friday coming up for the holidays, you might get it for $500, $499. You also can check out Epson's refurbished page, and I've had a few people who've been able to get a refurbished one for around $400. All right, so that's the high-speed scanning that you need. You could potentially need a flatbed scanner, and we'll talk about that in a second, but the Epson does come with a sheet feeder, so you can put fragile pictures in or pictures that are cut, and they can go through there. Okay, so we've talked about the pictures, the organizing and digitizing your pictures, you're scanning them. The other types of media that you could have are significant. You can have slides and negatives, film reels, videotapes, audio, memorabilia, and oversized items. So this here is a picture of reel-to-reel film. It's just a real cool photo with some notes on there. And these are 3-inch reels of film. Um, I will say that of all of these items, there are ways that you can do this work yourself, and I'll show them to you. But this could potentially be an area where you might want to hire someone to do it. But first, let's just talk about like doing it yourself. So slides and negatives. We had a Wolverine scanner here for years. We still do, but we aren't using it much anymore because when we scan slides, we have a professional grade scanner and the color restoration's beautiful. And we, with the pandemic, we stopped doing workshops where people could come in and do their own work. So, but this is an option out there. Okay. You can use a Wolverine scanner or some other one similar. It won't look as good as if you had them done professionally. And so the size varies, but in a pinch, it's better than not having that digitized at all. And you can take those pictures and take them to an editing program and maybe improve them yourself. The other option for scanning negatives and slides is a flatbed scanner. And I think this would do a much better job. Still not as good as when it's professionally scanned, but the Epson Perfection V600 color photo image film negative and document scanner, this looks like it could do it all. And it's like a super good price, $237. We like Epson here. We have a few Epson scanners. And I always tell people, look at the ratings. You want to make sure there's a lot of ratings and that it's fairly high. So this one has 6,700 ratings and it's got a 4.5 score, which is great, 4.5 stars. I think it would be a fine addition. So video you can do yourself, but I really don't recommend it at all. 10, 15, 20 years ago when this software came out, it was really cool to be able to convert your own VHS tapes to a DVD. But today DVDs are going away, and the work it takes to transfer a video this way is horrible. You have to have the right connectors. You have to have the original video camera. You might have to have a VHS player. And the software connects the tape player to your computer. And it's sometimes the tapes aren't in good shape anymore, so the player stops, and then the software thinks you're done taping, and then it stops recording and you don't realize it. The quality is spotty, it's frustrating. The transfers take as long as the videos are in length, and it's horrifically putsy. And these softwares don't have they don't have the improvements that professional providers can do, like fixing the tracking, adjusting the color some. This is not the way to do it. So if you had to, do it yourself, I wish you a lot of luck and patience. In this case, you may want to consider having a professional do it. And there are local providers usually in most areas. You don't want to go to Walgreens or Costco because they're going to just ship it off somewhere. All right. And their team is not going to help you figure out what to do with it when it comes back. So you want to look for camera stores or specialty shops like ours, and they may be a better choice. You also could check with your library or local historical society. I have been saying this for a few years now, and I feel like in one case, we've had someone who's been able to digitize some of their stuff, like some reels of film. But she said she had to sit there the whole time while it was transferring, because transferring is you play it and you're recording it. You're transferring it while it plays, so it takes a bit. You can also, kind of price it out. So I put local prices vary. Certainly online, you can find really big sales on things, but local prices for a photo scan, it can be anywhere from 59 cents to $1.99. And slides and negatives are 99 cents for a 35 millimeter slide. Tapes are 25 to $35 per tape. And I know, like, some people have a lot of tapes. We've seen people who've had over 100 tapes, and it's an investment to get that digitized. But the alternative of trying to do it yourself is just unrealistic. Reels of film are 49 to 99 cents per foot. And on the right-hand side, you can see we've got, I don't know, there's probably 50 reels of 3-inch reels. And these hold about 2.5, 3, maybe 4 minutes of footage on them. And this reel-to-reel film is usually really good quality, as long as it was recorded in good light and someone was decent with their camera. The 3-inch reel there holds 50 feet of film. A 7-inch reel holds 400. Usually people combined 8 of these to go to the 7-inch reel. So the reels of film can end up being costly as well. And you pretty much have to have a professional do that. There is one tool out on Amazon, I think, maybe two, that you can do your own reel-to-reel transfers, but it's putsy, and I don't think you'll get the quality that you want. Some people have oversized items like large posters or really large certificates, diplomas. Those oversized items have to be scanned with special equipment or scanned in multiple pieces, and that can be costly as well. $59 to $99 per item in if you have any of those. You definitely want to get the digital files returned to you on a USB drive or a digital download. Only get a DVD in addition to those if you need it. Like I said, DVDs are going out, so we will not be we will not be recommending DVDs. All right, then if you want, you can find an online provider. I've mentioned that we here at Pixology, we have people shipping things to us. We recommend using FedEx, Track It All. Our partners in Northern Virginia, Pixology Digital Solutions, they have fantastic equipment and they care very much about the quality of transfer, so they'd be a great place. And then Forever offers 3-way shipping, and they have sales, I would say fairly often, that you could look at. There are other online providers and you can check them out. I would look at Trustpilot and see where the ratings are for some of those big companies, and just always have tracking numbers. I feel really confident when we have a tracking number and we can track that package down. Okay, so that's digitizing other media, and in that point, there's a lot of places that I think you will want to, have someone else do it. If you do that, you can number your items so that they digitize them in order, and that might help with the organization, when it's returned. I just made a little screenshot here of, oh, you can organize your slides and negatives. You can do that. Have someone else digitize them. Same with your film, video, and audio, and even memorabilia. Memorabilia, so it's like, documents and things like that. If they're one page, I usually will scan those as a JPEG, but if they're multiple pages, I scan them as a PDF. And you'll kind of have to see what you have and decide how you want to move forward in preserving those items. But people have documents from land transfers back in the 1800s. They have baptism certificates. There's so many cool things with the memorabilia. that, we consider that to be potentially a huge part of your photo estate. Okay, now we're going to talk about organizing digital photos. Point number 7. Boy, do we have a lot of digital photos. It's just crazy when you think about all the places they could have ended up. And again, I have just 2 slides here in talking about the digital photos. And that's partly because you can watch our Organize It All masterclass and learn more about it there. Here, we're just talking about it as a point on creating your photo estate. So, the idea is to get all of your files to one location, from various computers and drives and websites and online sources. Get it to one specific folder on your computer. We call it a photos to organize folder, and we have called it a master family photos folder. The photos get to go to the master folder when they're actually organized and cleaned up. Anyway, you're going to get them all to one place, and that means you're copying them, you're exporting them, you could be downloading, and you could be moving them. All right. And you're going to organize them by decades and years, months, or topic. Okay. And I can't even believe I've brought that down to one little sentence there. This could take you many hours to do. You also will check for duplicate files. We need to get rid of the duplicates. Sometimes, people have half of their digital photo collection is duplicates, and they're sneaky because sometimes they're not the same file size. They may even be a different format. It's really a crazy thing, the duplicates. And I love the problem of like pictures that were taken in, let's just say 2004. You took them with your digital camera and they were on your camera card, right? You took the camera card to Walgreens and you got prints and a CD back. And somehow over the years you put the photos from your camera card on your computer, and you save the camera card, and then you have the prints and you have the DVD. You literally can have one photo in 4 different formats, and how do you bring it all together? You really have to be systematic about it. Okay. So if I think organizing your digital photos, you can do yourself if you have a system, and we've shared ours. But quite often, we find people who want to hire us to do it. So I'm just showing you here one example of a folder structure. You can see CD and camera card photos, desktop photos, downloads, forever downloads, loose photos on computer. And then we have these are mainly renamed folders where we're in the process of cleaning things up. So like here we have 2005 CD from LB. I know what that means, Lighthouse Brigade. It's potential that there could be duplicates from that CD that are in the 2005 photos from loose photos. There's a lot to figure out, okay? So some people want to hire a photo organizer to do this. And the photo organizing field is well established. Most people don't realize, though, that you can hire a photo organizer, but they've been around for going on, I think, 12, 14, 15 years. And certainly we've been around for 10. So you're going to look online to find one in your area. Be sure they're comfortable with your operating system. So if you have a Mac, just work with someone who knows a Mac, all right? Don't try to work with someone who has a PC who doesn't know it as well. And vice versa. If you have a piece, well, you just work, they need to know your operating system, and preferably, maybe they would know both. But you can get reviews, check their reviews, ask for references. I would, for a service like this. And these services can be costly too. You can plan on paying $75 to $150 per hour or more. Okay, and you most likely will need at least 10 to 20 hours. So it's not cheap, but on the other hand, memories are priceless, and I have paid a lot of money to recover something that I should have done myself properly the first time. So I just wanted to give you an idea of that. So when you balance hiring someone for digital photo organizing versus figuring out to do it yourself, this might help give you some perspective on that. Now, here at Pixology, we offer 4-hour blocks for $4.99 if we are organizing with our clients online. Like I screen share and I take control of their computer screen and I work on their computer. That's $4.99 for 4-hour blocks. If people have given us their computers and their drives and their whatever CDs, and we do it here, then it's just $95 an hour. All right, so that is most definitely an option out there for you to think about. All right, so that's organized digital photos. You can look at your accountability chart and kind of put a question mark if you're like, well, do I want to do this or don't I? Or I'm going to do it myself after looking at those dollar signs. That's what that chart is there for. So the next point on our photo estate checklist is preserving new photos. All right. We are all taking pictures every week, every day, a lot of us, and we need to save these new ones. If you take one thing away today, this is really important. Save your pictures from last month, okay? Just start saving them every month, and before you know it, you'll have a nice collection to look back on. All right. What will help you is being selective in how many photos you take. Just stop taking so many pictures and videos. Regularly review your photos and delete repetitive photos, especially after a special event. Delete the ones you don't need. And then copy your important photos from your phone or camera to a corresponding folder on your computer. So you're going to create a folder on your computer. We have the formula listed there with 4 digits for the year, 2 digits for the month. And for last month, it'd be 2023-06 photos. You're going to get all of your photos from last month into that folder. And then you can delete the screenshots and stuff that's junk, knowing that it's probably still on your phone and you can refer back to any of that later. And then we recommend uploading it to Forever for easy sharing and preservation. So here's my folder from June, and I don't know if you can see at the bottom of the screen, but it kind of shows you it's in my master folder, and I've got my June photos in here. And then I upload them to Forever, where it's very easy to share with people. And if I want to make a photo book at the end of the year, I've got all my months set for that. So preserving new photos is really important, okay? Now, we're going to move into adding information to photos, okay? Information, it's like descriptions, captions. People say, I want to be able to tell my story, and I want people to see it when they're looking at the photo. This is so much easier said than done. I can't even tell you. I also want to point out that point 9 and point 10, I really feel are things that happen after you've done all the previous work, okay? And that's just because when you've curated everything, you know you've got the best of your photos, and hopefully nothing else is going to pop up and mix up your system. So I feel like 9 and 10 are things that are done after your photo work is done. Information equals metadata, okay? On a photo, the only way to really put information with the photo is to embed it in the metadata. Okay, and I have a screenshot of the properties of this photo, our staff photo, on the right-hand side. This is the metadata. So we have tags, and we have date taken, which is important, tags, and comments, Pixology staff photo for 2022. Okay, those are the 3 things that I focus on: date taken, tags, and comments. Title is there, and we'll talk about that in a second. And don't bother rating your photos, because it's impossible to really work with your 5-star photos in File Explorer easily. Okay. Metadata varies from program to program. So, okay, you've got to keep track of dates taken, tags, and description. Well, or comments, whatever it's called. Those fields, so these are all fields here that are in the information, your metadata of your photo, vary from program to program. So in Apple Photos, it's still date taken. They use keywords and caption. File explores tags and comments. Forever uses tags and description. You can spend a lot of time in these programs or other programs, and you can spend a lot of time with Apple Photos or File Explorer putting all that information in, only to find out that people can't view it. I've had quite a few complaints when people want to, look at like titles. Remember, I told you here we have this title. Titles are not recognized by other programs sometimes, and sometimes the title will overwrite the description. Okay, so we have to be very careful how we add information to our photos. And I have tested this, so I feel like I know. I feel like I've learned a little bit, and I've tested it on many different programs, and I have just found that the easiest way to do it is in Forever. So I've uploaded my pictures to Forever, and I add the description, I change the date, and I add the tags, and I'm done. I can share this photo to anybody, and they will see the description, the date, and the tags. They can do with it what they want after that, but my information is visible to the person I'm sending it to. And in 50 years, when I'm gone, the people who inherit my Forever account will have this information as well. And that's one of the reasons why we feel so strongly about Forever being a tool to complete your photo estate. That's your online photo archive. All right, point 10, enjoy and use your photos. So I think I've touched upon this already, creating online projects, your photo books, photo gifts, calendars, cards. There's watch for sales, plan ahead, those kinds of things. I will say that if you have all this work to do on your accountability chart, but you go on vacation and when you come back, it might make sense to take a pause and then work on your travel book. All right. But don't spend a year making your travel photo book and putting everything else to the side. We want you to, be efficient and get this done because there's so many other things to do, not even just with your pictures, but in life. Sometimes people want to know how to edit videos and create slideshows. And I've got a few apps listed here. The Windows Photos app does a nice job editing videos, I guess, and creating slideshows for sure. On a Mac, QuickTime and iMovie are your choices. And then there's a couple other, higher level ones there that you can purchase. When you edit videos like your 2-hour soccer match from 1986, you may choose to just, get rid of the original video, but be sure to add those edit videos to your photo collection. All right. And these two areas, the online projects and editing videos and slideshows, that is an area that you can hire someone to do that work for you. A photo organizer will do this work for you. We do these kinds of things here at Pixology a lot. Now, under the enjoy and use your photos point is share your memories, right? Celebrate and inspire, strengthen, connect with your memories. It's so meaningful to have people come together looking at pictures. I can't stress it enough. Take your moments, take the moments to reflect on life's journey with the people who matter while you still can. That's why we have some urgency here and why I have an accountability chart to get this stuff done so that you can pass it on to future generations. All of us have limited time on this earth, and being able to pass on our memories and our stories to future generations is really important. Someone once said that they asked everybody in a large room to stand up And then he said, everybody who knows their grandparents, all, 4 of their grandparents, stay standing, and most people could. And then he said, everybody who knows their great grandparents stay standing. So now I think we're on to like 8, and most people sat down. Literally in 2 generations, the people who come after you may not remember who you were or even know you were. So let's get to work. Now, this does not get done in a day, in a month, and maybe not even a year. And Pixology, we are here to help you. We have so much on our YouTube channel. You definitely want to check it out. I love this video here, Organizing Photos, The Dreadful Truth. Took me a long time to come up with this, but there's a lot of work in this. And we've mapped out a lot of things that can help you on the journey if you want to try this yourself. And I'm really excited to announce that we are starting a group called the Pix Journey Group. And some people helped me with this over 2 years ago. We did a pilot project. And since then, I've been testing and trying to figure out the best way to teach people. We launched a huge course and community that's helped me learn so much. So this Pix Journey group, there's monthly virtual 3-hour workshops coming. There's an online community and challenges to keep you on track. So if you need a little bit more than a sheet of paper to be held accountable to yourself, I invite you to consider joining this. We will be officially launching it September 1st, and there'll be a monthly fee. And then an annual fee if people would prefer to pay that way. But you guys are here with us, with Corinne and Tyler and I, and you're here celebrating our 10-year special. And we'd love for you to be a founding member if you're interested and you need a little bit of help. It's going to be $99 per year, and you'll never see an increase. The people who are in our Pix Plan community, will have access to this too. But I'll tell you a bit more about that. So you're going to get a follow-up email with the handouts, links that I refer to, and a link to be a founding member. I would expect this email probably by tomorrow morning. I did want to throw a mention out there to the Pix Plan course and community. Like, this has 80 to 100 little mini lessons so you can digest a little bit at a time. We teach tech skills. We have weekly support calls where we screen share, and I work directly with our members to get their questions answered and to keep them moving. So if you're interested, you can apply. You'll have a link to schedule a time with me. We want to make sure that it's a good fit. So that's out there. And then lastly, we have all these services here at our southeastern Wisconsin offices, and we have done physical work for people where they ship us their items. I've done digital consultation in quite a few different countries now, and we just expect to keep serving people because we know you need help and time's a ticking. So that's what I wanted to cover. And my gosh, I took almost an hour. So now I'm happy to answer questions. So let me just take a look here. I'm looking through the questions, and let's see here what we've got. So Holly Walter messaged that she has the Epson Fast Photo scanner. Great. She highly recommends it. Ruth, who's from India. We are international today. You have happiness and euphoria after you finish your photo stage. She did it. Fantastic. And Jill's mentioning that she has the VHS DVD recorder deck that does well. That might help you. And Elizabeth mentions that she just finished digitizing all 105 VHS tapes to MP4. Congratulations, that was a huge project. And now you're splicing them to organize individually by month. And you're able to stop yourself from editing or creating because of my steps. So I wish you the best as you keep going on that. And then Jill mentions if you use a VHS to DVD deck, the DVDs are easy to copy to digital files on your computer and backup. I am glad that you've had that experience. You with those converters, you can with the like the VHS to DVD, you have the choice of transferring from DVD or excuse me, from tape to DVD or tape to your computer or external hard drive. So you can do that directly. And sometimes DVDs are produced with special files. You have a video file and an audio file. You can no longer edit that easily. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. And Jill, you have a few other thoughts in there. So other people might find all of that interesting. It's nice that this conversation's going on behind the scenes here. I love for people to share with each other. There's always something new to learn. Let's see. Alex, what is the pricing for the online course? I really share that in the private call. So Alex, I'd love to chat with you. In fact, I'll put in like a little link here for everybody, but Alex, since you asked the question, where you can schedule a call with me and we can talk about it. I will say this, it will save you time and it probably will save you money. So there's the Calendly link. All right, let's see. Kathy in Los Angeles. I'll try to remember that the next time that you're on. Thank you for a good presentation and encouragement. Thank you. Do I have a template or batch file system for creating the files within Explorer? So the folders, I really should make that. I'm going to put that's going to be one of the resources. We're going to make a folder structure that people can download for, the decades with the years in it and then the months in it. Thanks, Elizabeth. That's a great idea. And Patty's asking about Adobe Bridge. I love Adobe Bridge, and we actually use that here at Pixology. Adobe Bridge is I think it's free. If you do have to have the Adobe Creative Cloud installed on your computer, and Adobe Bridge is free. And then you can actually do some editing with it. And the editing requires like their $12 plan a month, but Adobe Bridge is free. But we found that teaching it to people is a little bit complicated. But it's a great program. We love changing names. We can add bulk tags and change the dates on them. So that's a good question. Karen used the Wolverine slide converter to scan 1,500 slides in 2 days. Holy smokes, Karen, you are scanning like crazy. That's a lot. Fantastic. Isn't it a joy to see these come back to life? So then Jill asks the question, if you need help with a particular task or issue as you go along, do you have a way to offer that help remotely for a fee? Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. The community, the Pix Journey group, we potentially can answer pretty quickly a question that's posted in there. But I don't right now, like we have to ask for a 4-hour block of time. And that, I guess we could say yes, and we can schedule that. If you had 4 hours of task or issues that have accumulated, we could do that. Karen, thank you so much. She says it's a fantastic presentation. It's just what she needed for right now. Good. Okay. And Linda is asking about moving from a PC to a Mac. Any pitfalls to avoid? Well, that's a fantastic question. I love using my Mac in general. I love it. However, organizing pictures in the Finder, which is the File Explorer equivalent, is very hard. If you're moving from the PC because your PC is old and out of date, I guess that would make sense. If your PC is new, I would recommend organizing in folders on your PC first and then moving to a Mac. And then, there's like I could find a whole zillion ways to answer this, Linda, but that's my big takeaway for you is if you can organize with if you're going to do photo organization with folders, do it on the PC because the PC gives you so much more information in File Explorer than the Mac Finder does. So I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna stop sharing here so I can see people. So, okay, let's see. I hope that answers that question. All right. We're like just after 2, so I feel like we hit the time. We're gonna follow up with an email with links and then the handouts and a link to watch the recording if you weren't able to be here for all. And I really appreciate you all joining. You please know you can reach out with questions and I will try to get them answered at one point. I really appreciate all of you being here. And like, it's still 21 people. That's fantastic. Great retention rate today if you're all paying attention. All right, you guys, I am going to sign off and you have a wonderful day. Go save some memories, fill out your accountability chart. If you do this, I would love to hear from you. Thanks again. Take care.